absolutely physically dominated from start to finish. You had a lot of mistakes. You had very bad turnovers. You've now averaged 3 turnovers like you have been over the last month, and nothing changed. It's who you are. It's your identity. It's who you continue to be as a football team and who you will continue and remain to be as a football team until you fix something. You do not have the dudes. Tonight showed that you don't have dudes. Jalen Milroe dominated you. And you know what's more embarrassing than all of it? What's more embarrassing than all of it, it's not that you lost. Guys, Alabama's a good football team. It's not embarrassing that you lost. What's embarrassing is that we did segments, not we, meaning me, but people in this fan base and we just media thought like clowning Alabama was a smart move. Like, how fucking stupid do we have to be? But the most embarrassing thing, like without a doubt, the most embarrassing thing was that Alabama came into your place at home at night in Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, with a stupid tiger named Omar Bradley, like it's The Wire on HBO. And you know what? You know what they did? They ran for 311 yards. That is what's embarrassing. That's what's embarrassing to me. It's not that you lost. It's not really that you lost 42-13. You know, if they would have come in here and thrown it all on you, good on them. But you knew what they were going to do, and you got your ass whooped. Every postgame show is brought to you by our good friends over at betonline.ag. Use that promo code BELIEVE50. That's BELIEVE50. When you do that at checkout and use that promo code, you'll receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. betonline.ag, where the game starts. NBA picking up. College basketball and women's basketball is here. And you got the remainder of college football nationally where you can bet on those football games. Also brought to you by, every post-game show is brought to you by our good friends over at The Athletic Collection, shop-tac.com. That's shop-tac.com. Use the promo code AYS15 to get a 15% off of your order. Again, that's AYS15 at checkout. Let's get to it. We got no time to waste. This is what I need all of you to do. There's probably there's 2,700 of you in here. So let me say this. I need you to do this for me. Thoughts, questions, concerns. What'd you think of the game? You can do all that. I can't get to all the comments, but what I can do is if you send in a super chat on YouTube, I can get to those comments. It's going to be a long night. You better prepare for it because we're going to be here a long time. So send in super chats if you are on YouTube. If you want your comment read, we'll do live call-ins at the end. I ask one simple favor from you every single time we do a post game. Hit the like and share. Tell 10 LSU friends that are around you that we are live. Hit the like button, hit the share to all those groups and social media pages. Let's get to it. You started off the game and you completely pissed down your leg. You get 8 plays, 75 yards by Alabama after you deferred. You gave up a touchdown. You come down, and LSU is trying to answer. And what I thought was a pretty decent opening drive, to say the least. But you call a timeout after getting a 45-yard run by Caden Durham. You try to get cute in the red zone running the football when you lined right up and ran it right at them, and you busted them in the mouth. They were 62nd in the country in run defense, and you were actually able to run the ball on them when you did the right fucking thing. But then you had to call a timeout because you were going in some stupid personnel, and it killed all your momentum. So you kick a field goal because you can't convert, and you're down 7-3. Then basically the second drive for Alabama offensively is a microcosm of the entire game. 15 plays, 75 yards, 14 points to your 3. Jalen Milroe on the drive. Are you ready? Threw it to a running back, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, 5 times in the second drive he threw to a running back out of the backfield. Let's look at the third downs. They converted a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 3, and a 3rd and 4. You can't get off the field on 3rd down to save your life as you continue to piss down your leg. You know, we talked about this week. Alabama was 7th in the country on 3rd down when it was 3rd and 6 shorter. 3rd and 7 plus, they were 132nd in the country in converting. Didn't matter. Did not matter because it didn't matter what you did. Didn't matter what you did. Because they were going to come and line up and bust you right in the mouth because you are a soft team. You are a soft program. And you know what? Here's the God's honest truth. I don't blame anybody on this defensive staff. I know a lot of you want to. But 15 plays where you can't make a stop on 3rd down, man, you don't have the personnel. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. There have been 3 different head coaches. 3 different offensive coordinators, 3 different defensive coordinators for 4 of your defensive starters. 4 of your defensive starters. And it doesn't matter because they're constantly getting lost and out physical. LSU gets the ball in their second possession. Nussmeier goes 1 for 4 on the drive, 6 plays, 17 yards, and you have to punt. Defense finally makes a stand. They get Alabama to punt after a Braden Swinson big-time stop on 2nd down that generated no yardage. LSU gets the ball back 14-3. This was a backbreaker. Garrett Nussmeier completes a pass to Mason Taylor for 26 yards. Xavion Thomas on a reverse goes for 12 yards. Josh Williams, pass complete for 16 yards. But just wait. Here it comes. Here it comes. Garrett Nussmeier pass to Aaron Anderson is broken up. That should have been an interception, but there's a personal foul on the play. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. You run a gimmicky pop pass to Xavion Thomas. Holding Will Campbell. Holding by Will Campbell that killed the drive. 2nd and 20. Doesn't matter. You were as anemic as a schoolgirl trying to make homecoming. Didn't matter. Killed you. Killed you. Couldn't convert there early. But you know what? You get points. You kick a field goal. You're down 8. 14-6. 14-6. So the penalty, the holding penalty killed you on you going in and scoring a touchdown. And then LSU's defense stood up after you got a field goal. It's 14-6 in the first half. They get a turnover on downs. Braden Swinson bullies a tight end and tackles Jam Miller behind the line of scrimmage. And you get a turnover on downs. You finally get to play. Hey, Facebook user, see you, bud. Yep, see you. Whoever this guy is, see you, bud. Can we find a way to ban him? Find a way to ban him. Thank you. But you're not going to come in here and tell me what to do. So, anyway, they get the turnover on downs. Braden Swinson with a massive play. Very next play after the turnover on downs. DJ Chester does not, for whatever reason, pick up a block. I guess he thought that Miles Frazier was going to be there. I have no clue. No clue. Nuss scrambles, fumble, Alabama recovers. Backbreaker. even if an offensive lineman misses a bad pickup like that, and it was a very bad miss, you can't fumble the football there. You cannot fumble the football. I don't care that it's raining. It is your responsibility to be ready for every situation. You weren't ready. Guys, that is where ultimately, right there in the first quarter, it broke your back. Or first half, excuse me, it broke your back. That's where the game was lost. You had opportunity after opportunity. Your defense gets you a punt, a turnover, and then you give the ball right back on your own 32-yard line. When you can come down and score, even if you get a field goal, and it's 14-9 at that situation, you're only down 5 points. It's who you are. It's built into your DNA. You can, I mean, at that point, guys, to be real with you, you had 72 yards rushing. You know what you can't fucking do? You can't come in here and say we didn't have a running game. You can't fumble the football there. I get that there was a free blitzer. I get it. That's going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. What you cannot do, regardless of what any of you think, you cannot turn the ball over in that situation. But what Bama did was Bama made you pay. They 1,000% made you pay. The way that they made you pay was simple. 3 plays, 32 yards. Jalen Milroe would get his second rushing touchdown of the first half. He had 4 of them total. 4 of them total. He ran for 12 yards, 12 carries, 185 yards, and 15 yards per carry and 4 touchdowns. But the fumble is where it was over. Let's get to the second half here. After you just absolutely got splattered. You were in it. You're in it. You can't turn, guys, I don't give a flying fuck. You cannot turn the ball over right there. You just can't. You start off the second half, you're down 21-6. So even though you're down, 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, you're driving down the length of the field. Really good drive. 14 plays, 71 yards. Want to know what you did there? You turned the ball over. The last pass was Garrett Nussmeier intercepted by Deontay Lawson, the linebacker, and you threw it into horrible coverage. So the play by Kyron Lacey with his first catch of the night for 21 yards, the Mason Taylor on 4th and 4 going up the ladder and making a spectacular play, doesn't matter. Aaron Anderson breaking 2 tackles at the line of scrimmage to get you 5 yards to make it 2nd and 5, doesn't matter. Xavion Thomas on a pop pass, which is an extension of the running game of what they were using with him, for 11 yards and a first down, doesn't matter. Because you literally get to the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line, and you throw a pick. That's not on offensive line. That's not on anybody around you other than one person calling the play, a one-man read, and the quarterback not executing the right play. I think we were having some technical difficulties. Am I back? Am I back? Thumbs up in the chat if you got us. I think we should be good now. I think we should be good now. Can y'all do me a favor? Give me a like button in the chat if you got us. All right, I don't know what happened there. All right, thank you. Getting back to what I was saying, okay, you're in the red zone. The 4-yard line. Guys, the last thing that you can have happen, is that you turn the ball over there, and it's exactly what you did. Bama then lines up, guys, and does not throw the football. They did not throw the football in the very next drive. Run by Kendrick Law for 8 yards. Jam Miller, 8 yards. Haynes, 2 yards. Excuse me, they did throw one on the pop pass that got dropped. Excuse me. Ryan Williams reversed for 22 yards. Milroe for 5. Milroe for 19 and a touchdown. They threw the ball one time on a pop pass. A pop pass. $28-6. And to be real with you, guys, from that point on, it's horrendous. You'd have a punt. You'd have a turnover on downs. You'd have an interception. And quite honestly, the turnover on downs was your 4th turnover of the night. So basically, let's call it what it is. The stat sheet will say that you had 3 turnovers. That's bullshit. Because in the second half, after you threw the interception in the red zone, you had a punt, a turnover on downs, and an interception. Guys, it cannot happen. Now let's address a couple of big elephants in the room, because only thing that happened from that point forward was Alabama lined up and punched you right in the fucking mouth. It was over. From the second interception on, it was over. When they lined up on that next drive and would go down to score and it made it 28-6, it was over. So I'm not going to waste your time going through the rest of it. We got 2 massive elephants that we got to address right now. Number 1, you better go hit the portal. You better find a way to find some money to go get high school recruits. And look, you can give me pushback. You could say, Blake, we cannot go spend money on players. We can't do it. Guys, you don't have a choice. You're not good enough in your front 7. I got to be real with you. You're not good enough at linebacker. You're not good enough at safety. You're moving defensive ends into the interior of your defensive line because you're not good enough there. Strength and conditioning, I don't know if it's on them or that you don't have the personnel. But the problem that I'm having with Jake Flynn at the moment, your strength and conditioning coordinator, is quite honestly, he's over the personnel that he's given. So you can make fun of or poke fun at strength and conditioning all you want to and think that it's a big deal, which it is a big deal. But the development in some of these issues clearly are not there. You had 2 weeks to prepare for something that massively got you beat, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't contain Jalen Milroe. The number 1 thing that you had to do was contain number 4. You weren't going to stop him from running the football. You weren't. You knew he was going to get his, but you had to find a way to contain him and make him one-dimensional and make him throw the football on you. If that means putting everybody at the line of scrimmage, then that means putting everybody at the line of fucking scrimmage, and you didn't do it. Jalen Milroe has 8 rushing touchdowns in 2 games on LSU. 8. Let me repeat that. He's got, not in a career, in 2 games. He didn't play in 4 games or some shit like that. In 2 games, he's got 8 rushing touchdowns on you. I cannot for the life of me, come out here and blame Blake Baker when it was the same issue from a year ago. What the fuck are we doing? You can blame him all you want to. If it makes you get a hard on, pause. But if it makes you get a hard on for getting mad at him, okay. Point with him, though, is you ain't been able to stop a running quarterback even when your ass was at Missouri either. So, yeah, okay, like I get that. I vehemently get that. But my God, 12 carries, 185 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Are we kidding ourselves? That's on coaching. That's on personnel. That's on overall where you are as a program. Because you're not a serious program right now. You're not. Did you have the ability to win this game? Guys, I know you don't want to hear this right now, but you know, like, for example, you're down 14-6. Okay? You'll go down to the red zone. You have a holding call. Okay. Or 14-3, you have a holding call. Okay. You kick a field goal, whatever. Your defense makes a big turnover for you, and then you throw a pick. Or you don't throw a pick. You fumble the football. Excuse me. Then you turn right around, 21-6. You get into the red zone. Then you throw a pick. Then when you're down 21-6 at half, you come back and throw another pick. Here's the second elephant in the room. I know some of you want to label Garrett as, well, you know, Joe Burrow got beat by 29 by Alabama at home, then the next year they went off. Guys, like, we got to stop with that shit. I saw people in this media corps trying to compare Burrow in 18 to what Nuss is doing right now. God bless Joe Burrow. He did not have fucking this many turnovers in this many games. Guys, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, they didn't turn the ball over. They would be physical and take the sack or run the football. And I thought Nuss, for what it's worth, he ran the football some tonight, and it helped, I guess. But here's the elephant in the room. I know a lot of you love Garrett Nussmeier. I know that you do. And not all of this is on him. It's not. The same equal criticism needs to go to offensive play calling. Needs to go to Brian Kelly. But, guys, I mean, like, at what point do we look at ourselves in the mirror and say to ourselves, like, yeah, man, it's working? Because it's been broken. You know, I've taken a lot of heat over quarterback controversial stuff in the time that I've done AYS Sports. A lot of heat. The truth is that it's always been the same. Nothing has changed. Maybe some better decision making. But until that gets cleaned up, guys, you're going to remain here. And from a sports perspective, you should have known when you had Dennis Allen that got fired earlier in the week that you can't have two massive sports victories in the same week. It's not how this Louisiana sports works. That this was coming. I don't think that you have a viable backup better than Garrett, not even remotely close. And you're going to have to go through some of these growing pains because he's 10 starts in. 10 starts. And it's not like that he has not had playing time before getting actual starts. SEC championship game, bowl game, etc. I mean, guys, these turnovers are inexcusable. They're inexcusable. in reference to play calling. I mean, you hired from within and it didn't work on a guy that's never truly been a play caller. You recruited really well at tackle, and what you should have done was do whatever you had to do to remain and keep Lance Hurd and convince him to stay at right tackle and move Emory Jones at guard. Because, guys, Emory Jones will not play tackle at the next level. So offensive identity outside of Jaden Daniels is anemic at best. Play calling is horrendous at best. You got fancy in the running game. And to be real with you, I can't fault Joe Sloan on the fumble. I can't fault Joe Sloan on throwing a pick at the 4-yard line. Like, that's not on him. Some of the play calls that he had, I don't think were that bad tonight. Be real with you. You know, Kirk Herbstreit was on the call, and it was a 3rd and 4, right before you converted the 4th down. 3rd and 4. Mason Taylor's wide open in the middle of the field with nobody around him. And Kirk goes through the replay and circles Mason Taylor's like, hey, man, instead of taking a shot here, you got to the number one thing on 3rd and 4 that you got to do, you got to convert the 1st down. And you didn't. So that continues to be an issue. Pre-snap identities is where Nussmeier's going with the football. He gets confused. I mean, and that's just the truth. All right. Another elephant in the room that we need to discuss. Guys, Brian Kelly can get mad all he wants to and get pissed off and do all the coach speak and all that shit. But the fact remains that it's underperforming. I don't care. I'm going to be real with you. The loss would have stung regardless of how the loss came. But the loss is even worse when you get your ass beat the way that you did. So here's the real truth. Herbstreit was right again on this. When there are dudes like Walter Nolan and Chris Poopaul and all these other guys in the portal, you have to go get them. You have to go get difference makers. The in-staff infighting, which does happen a lot with this staff. Believe you me, the infighting has got to stop. You cannot right now say we're just going to bring in all Louisiana players and think that you're going to get and rebuild to where you need to be. You need linebacker help. You need interior defensive line help. You need interior offensive line help. You need, quite honestly, you need wide receiver help. You need safety help. Guys, unless you're going to really hit on the guys that you brought in from the high school recruiting class a year ago, which maybe you can, you got to go get difference makers in the portal. Because you have missed. You have missed. So all the complaining I see that happens about the portal and not paying this kid that, not paying that kid that, you don't have a choice right now. This team is not a tough football team. Now, during the bye week, which I'm sure it got missed by some, we talked about, especially on Monday. Monday is where we talked about it the most. Are you a tough football team? No. You're not mentally tough. You're not physically tough. And you're a reflection of your coaching staff right now, especially offensively. How you allow a 5-star right tackle to walk out of the building because of money is beyond me. It's beyond me. Now you face in year 3 a Cheez-It Bowl, a Reese's Pieces Bowl, a Pop-Tart Bowl. Fuck that. Fuck that. Doesn't mean that I stopped watching the team and that we stopped covering the team and that we stopped doing these post games. But you got flat out embarrassed. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I'm utterly embarrassed. All right, Corey, let's get to some super chats and then we'll take some phone calls here. Corey with a $10 super chat, and then he comes back with another one. Says, very disheartening when Bama comes into your house and treats you like Meek Mill at a Diddy party. Thank you, Corey, for both those super chats. Yeah, man, it is heart-wrenching. I'm not really even mad. Here's my emotion. My emotion is I'm disappointed. I'm more embarrassed. I'm more embarrassed. Guys, there's going to come a time, hear me and hear me well. There's going to come a time where you're just going to have to, at least I'm going to start doing this. I need to see you win these big games and be physical and be tough. We got to start coming to some reality here, myself included. And I'm putting it on me more than I'm putting that on you because I'm out here every single night doing this shit. But it's embarrassing. The most embarrassing thing in all of this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, you allowed 109 passing yards and no touchdowns. Blake, it was raining. I don't give a fuck. You saw Jackson Dart do what he did in the rain. I don't give a fuck. Jalen Milroe. No, how about this? Jam Miller, Richard Young, Justice Haynes. No running back. No running back for Bama had over 5 yards a carry. One had 38 yards, 27 yards, and 23 yards. It was Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe with 12 carries, 185 yards. By the way, it's the 22-year anniversary of the Bluegrass Miracle. Just saw that. God, you got your ass beat, man. That's what's more, it's embarrassing. Ryan on YouTube says, ran through like shit through a tin horn. No doubt. No doubt. Abused. Bro, we got abused. Goat with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Dylan on YouTube with a $5 super chat says, don't see any embarrassing Bama is burning tweets tonight. Yeah, so let me get to that very quickly. I simply don't care anymore. Why? I even talked about it then. You know, I remember when like the Bama was burning tweets saying that they were losing recruits. Now, Caleb Cunningham might flip to Ole Miss. So cat's out of the bag on that one. Cat's completely out of the bag on that one. But the bottom line remains. With that, that's I get it's a bit and it's for content and all that shit. Now you're going to have to wear, now because you're an extension of the program, now you got to wear that shit on your sleeve. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's 1,000% embarrassing. Not embarrassing for anybody on this show, but flat out embarrassing. Christian Wheeler, what's up, buddy? He sends a $10 super chat. Says the bad party, or maybe the bad part. The bad part about this loss is that we know now what our true identity is. We are soft like a roll of Charmin tissue paper. We had no answer on both sides of the ball. Turnovers and mistakes kill your momentum. Is our MO, excuse me. Is turnovers and mistakes is our MO. 1,000%. 1,000%. Guys, you had 4 total turnovers tonight. A fumble and 2 interceptions. And then you had a turnover on downs. The fuck? Like, bruh. And it's not really that you had a bad running game. You got away from some of it. You had Caden Durham, 8 carries, 63 yards. Some of that coming on the 45-yard run. Xavier Thomas, here's the truth, too. Xavier Thomas has got to see looks out of the backfield. Like, I know you're giving him the ball and all that. Xavier Thomas might be our best running back. 2 carries, 9 yards apiece. And then another one that got called back. Actually, it should have been 3 carries for over 30. Guys, Xavier Thomas should have had 3 carries for 30 yards. The 12-yard little reverse that he had got called back on the Will Campbell holding call. Like, you have somebody on your team that you're able to line up and run the ball 3 times for 10 yards, and you're not feeding him the rock. Let's think about that for a minute. Let's think about that for a minute. Joke, man. It's a joke. Flat out joke. Mark with a $2 super chat says 3 big moments changed game 2. Turnovers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the face mask was bad. Here's another one. The refs tonight called everything on you. Everything on you. Bama was a highly penalized team. They didn't get penalized tonight, ironically. They get penalized everywhere else. But yeah, fair. I mean, is it a face mask? Yeah, but remember their second touchdown, guys. Their second touchdown, it was clear evidence that his elbow was down and the ball was not in the end zone, and they didn't overturn it. Clear evidence. So yeah. Brandon and Andrew both said super chats. Thank you guys so much. Andrew with a $5 super chat and Brandon with a 99-cent super chat. Thank y'all so much for sending those in. Hell Mendoza says sends a $10 super chat. Says, I know analytics are the rave nowadays, but at the end of the day, it comes down to fundamentals, techniques, and instincts. Let me stop right there. That's basically the conversation that me and you have been having for the last 2 months. When y'all are all over my ass about turnovers and how turnovers get you beat and how mistakes get you beat. Because mistakes are always going to get you beat. It's just that simple. And Hel Mendoza's right. Not being able to do the fundamentals even above average is why you look the way you look tonight too. Because you don't know how to fill in a gap in your assignment on a zone read. Because this is not, like, let's be real about something. This is not complicated. We make it look really complicated. LSU makes shit defensively look more complicated than what it is. Tennessee's done it. Ole Miss has done it. Who else? Michigan has done it. Georgia has done it. Bama did it tonight. A&M did it in year one. Guys, this shit is not like we're talking about fundamental shit that you're constantly getting wrong. So either number one, you aren't a smart football team, or number two, you do have a smart football team, but you're not coaching well enough to get them in the positions of where they need to be. Quite honestly, I think that you need a high-flying play caller in here. Denbrock leaving is a big deal. I got to be real. I got to throw some shade on Brad Davis. Brad Davis has not developed the interior of his offensive line well at all. Wide receivers, I mean, guys, DK Moore was on campus today, but he certainly ain't coming here after that shit. And you're not recruiting well enough there. You're going to have to go in the portal again. So y'all can get mad at me all you want to about talking about fundamentals. You don't even do that right. Carvis sends a $5 super chat, says third down, red zone, and turnovers on offense all season has been poor. Defense has overachieved, but 2 weeks to prepare, just sell out against the run. I would have rathered Jalen Milroe throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns than what he did tonight. Because what he did tonight on you is embarrassing. The 72-yard run that he had was embarrassing. You don't know how to stop a quarterback that can run. You're not fundamentally sound. You're getting beat up in the interior. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Guys, some of it is that let's call it what it is. Let's be real with one another. The realistic nature. Oh, Blake, these players work hard. I never said that they don't. I hate to say it like this. You don't have the talent in a lot of areas. You don't. But in some areas, you can complement that if you played sound fundamental football and don't get out of your gaps. If you don't get out of your gaps, then okay, well, I mean, look, man, you're not going to just be a tenacious run-stopping defense, but at least you're not letting their running backs run wild, and you're not. But every time there's a quarterback that can run a sub 4.8 or better, you look like the worst defense in the entire country. Because quite honestly, you might be when you have somebody that can run. Sad, man. Sad. Thank you, Carvis, for the super chat. Biggie Bull says, all y'all JD5 haters really wanted to bench him for Nuss. Y'all feel fucking stupid right now, huh? Well, Biggie Bull, let's just throw this out there because I don't want this. I don't know if this is directed at me or just the people in general. Let's talk about both of them. If it's directed at me, I got labeled this week. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, that I was one of the ones saying pull Jaden Daniels. I want you to go to any video. I want you to go to any show, anywhere where I said pull Jaden. Never. I know this because I know I never said that. Now, in reference to Nuss, guys, it's gotta be better. I don't care. I don't care what the play. See, here's where I'm trying to get at. I don't really care about the play calls as much. I know that I don't know how else to say it. You can't turn the fucking football over. You just cannot turn the fucking football over. Like we can talk about so many other things. So many other things. The number one thing on offense is that you, quite simply, cannot turn over the football. That is it. No play call makes you turn the ball over. Frank Castle with a massive super chat here. Thank you so much, Frank. He says, season is, as I predicted, down to every loss you'd have. Get serious about your OC hire. Get serious in the portal like you are in high school. Coach Johnson and Mulkey gave BK the blueprint. Utilize it, or it'll be 9-3 until BK finds their killer traits. First off, I greatly appreciate the super chat. It would appear that you could be in 9-3 purgatory. Guys, you're not. Here's the truth. I saw someone I very much respect in this business, who I am very good friends with, say that this Brian Kelly seat is getting warm. No, it ain't. No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, guys, to be real with you, even if this happens again next year, are we at a place where we can give him that amount of money to not be here? In reference to the OC hire, well, I can't disagree with you. It was lazy. I know for a fact that there's a video on AYS Sports YouTube that said that Joe has never been a play caller by himself, and he hadn't been. Truth be told, you got to try to find a way to hold on to Baker so that he can work on personnel, and he's got to work on personnel. And you got to go find an OC. Now, what you would say is, well, what about Underwood? Guys, if that's the play calling, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. So maybe keep Joe as a quarterback's coach and go get an OC somewhere, but you need an offensive coordinator. So a lot of very smart ones, man. A lot of really creative ones. And here's what I'd also say. In today's game, you cannot win football games unless you got to be a special human being if you sit in the pocket as a quarterback and can Joe Burrow this thing. And Joe Burrow, I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I don't think Joe is just a pocket passer. I think he's a highly athletic quarterback because he ran for a 40-yard touchdown in the NFL. I mean, like that's even him being mobile. But the bottom line is, if you don't have a quarterback that can move or that wants to move, you're going to lose football games. And when you make bad decisions, like as Frank said here, you're going to be in 9-3 purgatory. Doug knows. Thank you so much, Frank. I greatly appreciate that super chat, man. Doug says BK needs to step in on play calling. OC is a problem. I agree. $2 super chat. I agree. He's not going to. Kenny says, elephant in the room, BK has failed to recruit elite players, elite coaches, etc. This is a failed experiment. Can't really argue with you. I don't want to say it's failed yet, but I'm in no – here's the thing. I'm in no position to argue with you on it because I have no standing. I mean, the only thing that you could say is potentially is that you've seen them go in the portal and get a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. The problem with that is, okay, is that I mean, how many times are you going to be able to do that? Dane Bergeron says, Blake, did you see Nuss smirking as he walked off the field after his last interception? Pathetic. Sit his ass on the bench. They're not – well, first off, I did not see it. That's number one. I I don't know what I could say on the second one. I mean, because CJ fell down, but I don't. If he did smirk, I did not see that. No, I don't like that. They're not going to sit him. They're not going to sit him. For whom? For whomst? They're just simply not going to do that. And I don't think that you can. And I think it's a little too soon to run away from Nuss completely. Just being honest, it's a little too soon to run away from him completely. But guys, the turnovers have got to stop. Like, I mean, that's is what it is. Mello says eliminate. Yeah, you've been eliminated from the playoff. Andy Alexander with a $2 super chat says, if we get a new OC, do we lose Underwood? See, that's the question. Andy, I get it. I mean, like, I get it. I mean, it's the predicament that you're in. I mean, you just hope that the NIL, like, you just hope the kid wants to be here. The NIL package is what it is. And look, I'll give you this. And I even brought up recruiting tonight. You got your ass whooped in front of a lot of really good recruits. Guys like Jakeem Stewart that can change program, be a program changing player for you. And you had a lot of guys in here and you got your ass whooped. I just don't, I'm never going to say not to make a move as for a play caller, especially on offense, and it be like, oh, well, we're going to lose out on Underwood or a great quarterback. I get it, but what are you supposed to do? It's the conundrum that Brian Kelly he has himself in here with. Dr. John Sibley Butler says, least talent I've seen in 20 years and slowest since my senior year in 1970. Does BK understand that SEC teams are built around quarterbacks and speed and not OLs and tight ends? I mean, yeah, you definitely don't have speed. Not on defense, you don't. And then where you do have speed, teams run right at you. Guys, Whit Weeks had another bad week. He had another really, really bad football game. A really, really, really bad football game. Just not any good, man. You're not. I mean, you're a 9-3, 8-4 team. And look, to be real with you, even though Scott Woolward's hire at Texas A&M is not on, like, we don't count that against him for LSU, it's got to be in the back of your mind and saying, hey, man, I know you went and got Jay, you went and got Kim, and that's a big deal. Massive deals. You don't get fired for bringing both of those coaches in here. But, man, the last two coaching hires, football-wise, has not paid the benefits that it's probably due. You've missed there. You've missed there. All right, a couple more, then we're going to get to some phone calls here. Ramirez on YouTube says, did my Aggies expose y'all's defense? Gig 'em. No, you didn't. I mean, because this was a problem last year. And it's funny that you're coming in here after last week when you got exposed. LSU has more national titles since 2000 than you have 10-win seasons in the last 40 years. So before you come in here and say something about a program, you might want to have some weight behind it and have some ass behind it. And y'all can't even do that. So if you want to talk shit, you better be able to back up the shit talk. And y'all can't. Your trophy case is as empty as a male 40-year-old virgin on TV. But thank you for the money. Dilute. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Says no point in calling for. Oh, it sends a $5 super chat. Says no point in calling for BK's termination. We literally can't get rid of him. But yes, he is overpaid and ultimately an average coach, maybe below average. Maybe. All right. Time for some phone calls. I'll put the number inside the chat. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone number to call. I want your thoughts on the game. You can call in and we'll get to them. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
It's your boy Daryl, man. What's happening with you?
I ain't good.
Well, I ain't good either, goddammit.
What'd you think of the game?
Like, you know what the hell I thought about that damn game?
What?
Man, listen. All right. I think we've been fooled these last couple of weeks. Up to this week, I think we've been fooled, man, because Bama is always that standard when we play them, and it puts a big magnifying glass against our deficiencies, man. We look smaller than them. They pushed us around. I mean, we got dominated. Just like it had deer in headlights. Even some of our players had deer in headlights. Lacey at moments looked small. Like it was just defensively, we didn't fill our gaps. I mean, at the end of the day, can we be that mad? Because when he hired that defensive staff, it put us behind as far as our progression goes, as far as recruiting, man. That staff, his original staff on defense, put us behind. We're another 2 years behind. If just we're just talking about recruiting high school kids, we're 3 years behind. But portal wise, with recruiting, we're 2 years behind. Maybe one they're gonna spend some money, but I can't even see them going out there and just spending all this money because we got now Michigan trying to pony up $10 million to get Underwood. So we're gonna have to come out with at least $7 to $8 million to get Underwood, at least to keep him. But who's gonna develop him? I mean, Sloan, he's a great developer, but offensive play calling was, I don't say it was atrocious. A little bit on missing players are wide open. But Sloan, why are we still running back dive against Bama?
I don't know.
The out tackle was working. Counters, out tackle, even the counters were slow. They're like they moving like molasses. It takes 5 seconds for a counter to develop.
Yeah,
and running backs don't hit the hole. Running backs don't hit the hole.
Right.
Running backs be tiptoeing like they Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, and you certainly don't have the personnel to do that. I mean, and you got an outside run that went for 45 yards to start off the game offensively, and then you took him out, and then you didn't go back to it, which is even a bigger problem. And then Xavier Thomas had 3 carries for 31 yards. One of them got called back on a 12-yard run. Then you didn't keep going back to him. Look, offensively, I'll say this. I agree with you. You need better play calling. But until you make better decisions and not turn the ball over, you're going to continue to get beat like that. Secondly, defensively, I think that you're right. Now, I will push back on one thing and say that I think you could Ole Miss this thing. You can't Ole Miss it but the way that you do that is that you got to go out there and spend a ridiculous amount of money. And if you're not, and here's the truth too, if you as a fan base isn't willing to be quiet and let them go out there and spend the money, shit's not going to change. You know, this place gets more up in arms about players spending or about teams spending money than any other team in the country. Look, we do a national recruiting show. No program in the country makes more of a fit about how much money players are getting paid than LSU does. None. And I promise you that. But the God's honest truth is that's the game that you're playing now. And if you don't go out there and do it, this is going to continue to happen.
It's money ball. We have to play money ball, dog.
You got to New York Yankees it.
That's exactly what we got to do. And ultimately, man, I feel like I don't want to kick nobody when they're down. I mean, it's Nuts, Burrow, and Daniels. I don't even think it's fair to compare him to them because everybody like to say this is the second year, his first year, and then the second year he'll become Burrow or Daniels. I think the truth of the matter is, I think this is who Nuts is. Can he maybe taper off some of those turnovers? Maybe so. But like you said, and my best friend, we played football at Ohio State, and he texted me during this game. He said, "Bro, in today's time, if you don't have a dual threat quarterback, you're not going to win." And he's right.
You're not going to win.
Because you don't put enough pressure on the defense, dog. You don't.
Yeah,
anyway.
Miro put all the pressure on you. I appreciate the phone call, bud.
All right, baby.
All right. You're on the phone call, or you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
What's going on, Blake? This is Bo. I would tell you Bo Laird. You remember a couple of years ago I told you Bo Laird. You said it was Bo Laird.
What's going on, Bo Leg? How we doing?
What's going on, man? Look, man, I live in Tuscaloosa. I'm a diehard LSU fan, and tonight was tough, no doubt about it. But one thing I wanted to talk about is as far as QB1 and any D1 school is tough, and that kid's got parents and all that kind of stuff. I get that, man, and everybody's tough on him right now. But what I'm gonna say is, he's got to be better, man. He's got to be better. That goal line interception. If you go back and look at it, Josh Williams is wide open in the flat, man.
Wide open.
He's wide open in the flat, man, for a touchdown. And the only thing the thing that I'm thinking about is I feel like Nuss is playing not to mess up. He's in his head. He's playing not to mess up. He's not looking at multiple reads, and he's playing not to mess up rather than just letting it sling, And
or he's slinging it too much. I mean, at some point, this is a part of his DNA, and we got to get used to it. If he's your starting quarterback, you got to get used to it.
Absolutely. And why we got away from the run, I don't know.
You were pressing. Let's call it what it is. You were pressing. You felt like you were down more than 8 points when you were down 14-8, and then Nuss turned the ball over. I mean, like that.
Yeah.
That's the simple thing. And quite honestly, when you got down to the red zone to score, you were running the football effectively. I mean, Xavier Thomas had 2 runs for 18 yards on that drive.
Right.
I mean, it's not that you didn't run the football. You actually did run the football. I mean, like, for all things told, you did run the football more effectively. The problem is that you just could not convert, or you had a holding, or you had third and 4 when we kicked the first field goal. You took a shot to Kyron Lacey 27 yards down the field, and it was 3rd and 4, and you had Mason Taylor wide open. So, look, it's a whole bunch of things. And here's the thing, too, that I want to say, Bo, before we get you out of here. But the one thing I'd say, okay, is we can't keep saying guys are wide open and that it's a play calling problem. You can't – people can't keep calling in here saying this guy was wide open, that guy was wide open. And then we get to a place where, well, then that's not on Sloan if guys are wide open and you're not converting on it. Bo, I appreciate the phone call, buddy.
Absolutely.
All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Yo, what's good? This is Biggie.
What's up, Biggie? What'd you think of the game?
Man, oh my God, bro. This was terrible. Like, terrible. Like, from when I played, that shit would have never happened like that. Like, hell no, bro. And then the fact that we did this in front of all the recruits makes it 100 times worse. Like, and then I want to also shout out to all the fans that's been trying to get on me and Blake's ass for the past 2 years about trying to bench JD5 for Nuss. That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying that to you. I was saying that to them.
Right.
This is probably why JD5 was over Nuss, because of what they were seeing from Nuss the past 2 years, which is what we're seeing now and what you probably was seeing in camp.
Oh, without a doubt. This was happening in camp, and I tried to tell people it was happening during camp this year, and nobody wanted to listen.
And everybody and all the media was like, oh, it's just camp. It's just practice. No,
Correct.
Practice translates into game. What you
Correct.
do in practice translates over. That doesn't just go away like, oh, we're going to turn that turnover switch off whenever we get in the game. No, it doesn't work like that. All that translates to the game. You're practicing. Like, oh, man. And then the fact that I thought maybe I was going to give us a benefit of the doubt, because I'm like, maybe we did get caught off guard going from a statue quarterback to Marcel from the last game. No, it's exactly what it was when we played Texas A&M.
100%.
I thought it may have been a fluke. Like, I thought it may have been a fluke just because they changed our quarterback. Hell no. It's exactly the same thing that Texas A&M did to us. Like, running the damn ball. Only thing with Texas A&M, they was running the same 2 plays. With Alabama, they just got creative with it.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, look, I agree. I mean, that is your 2 biggest fundamental weaknesses. You can't stop a quarterback that can run a sub 4.8 40, and you cannot stop turning the ball over. And look, again, as I mentioned, you're going to look at this and say, well, Nuss had 3 turnovers. It's not. It's more than that. It's the turnover on downs. It's the missing on 3rd down that leads you to having to kick a field goal. Some of this stuff I don't put all on Sloan either, because again, I'm going to mention this another time. You can't keep coming in here, not saying you, Biggie, but we can't keep coming in here saying guys are wide open, and then when they are wide open, then you're not hitting them. That we just can't do it. So.
And then look, this is the crazy part. The crazy part is the defense, like at times the defense actually put us in positions to score points to catch up. Like I remember it was 7-3. We swamped that opportunity away. Then it was 14-6 and the defense got the ball back and then we fumbled it. I said, fuck. And then we finally it was 6:21. We had a chance to make something happen before halftime. And we just squandered that away. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like they're giving us chances to catch back up and get into this game. And we could not capitalize on the chances that we was given. Like the chances that the defense actually gave us when they had an opportunity to. We couldn't capitalize off of it. We cannot capitalize off turnovers. Like I'm starting to really see that.
Oh, at all.
Down 3 points.
Oh, at all. Yeah, when they get stopped, we do not play complimentary football well at all. Horrible 6 quarters.
Our defense has been way better than what it was. They're actually getting turnovers. Now it's like the fact that it feels like we're getting these turnovers for nothing. Like we're getting these turnovers just to get 3 points or just to get nothing at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, outside the last touchdown, you got blanked. I mean, like we can talk about defense all we want to, and they did not play well at all, but you also got blanked, and that's a massive problem. Biggie, I appreciate the phone call, bud.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right, let me get to a couple super chats in here. Brad with a $20 super chat says this NIL BS is messing with players' heads. They think that they can get paid and just relax. It is a quote-unquote, what have you done for me lately world. There's absolutely no competition in this game at all whatsoever. So, Brad, to your point, I mean, I get what you're saying, but then I look at Ole Miss, who has no business having a defense like that and doing what they did. I do agree that it seems like some of part of the intensity has gotten to LSU. But from a national perspective, that's not reality or the case. If Ohio State really is spending $20 million on a roster, then it's not really getting to them. So we'll it is what it is. The one that got away on YouTube with a $20 super chat says NIL didn't help LSU. We don't have the funds to compete. Ole Miss spent $10 million on defense. Also, OC can't scheme people open to get mistakes. Well, let me stop right there. If Ole Miss can spend $10 million on NIL to get good players, why the fuck can't you? That's what I'd say. Hold on the phone call. Hold on 1 second. I'll get to you in just a second. Defense looks like they're stuck in the mud. Nuss seeing the ghost, bro. I agree with that. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. What did you think of the game?
This Kev, man. I just gotta say this, and this need to be said because I know you can't say it, but I gotta say it.
Something about Nuss.
Garrett Nussmeier is doing his own shit. I read body language a lot. You can see him when he's talking on the phone to the coach up in the booth. He don't care. He does his own stuff. And another reason why Brian Kelly is in a hard spot, you can't bench him because he knows what's on the bench, not ready and ready product. When you look at Garrett Nussmeier, every time he throws a pick, it's always somebody else's fault, arguing with the coach. Let's just be real. Mike Denbrock, he left for a reason. If Jaden Daniels was still on this roster, do Mike Denbrock leave? No. He's seen all the mistakes Nuss used to make in practice. That literally told everybody the story. He ran off Mike Denbrock. For a quarterback, guess what? Riley Leonard, not the best passer, right? But look at his turnovers. He don't turn the ball over. He doesn't. Every time Garrett Nussmeier gets on the field, you're hoping it's not a turnover. It's him, a coach's son. That's what it always is. His dad is an NFL pro. I guarantee you, his dad telling him what to do. He's not even listening to the coaches. He's not. I guarantee you put another quarterback in, I guarantee we might not move the ball like we're supposed to, but I bet it won't be no mistakes. I bet it don't. And I don't even want to compare him to Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrows. You can compare him to any quarterback in the country who don't turn the ball over. You put him on LSU, I guarantee we win more games. Let's be honest. The games we've lost, I'm not just want to blame him against USC. The flat route, the dude wide open, threw it to his foot. Nussmeier blew that game. Hey, it is what it is. Guess what? In this day and age, a quarterback wins a game. Yes, coaches is a big part of it, but a quarterback wins a game. Against South Carolina, he almost blew the game. He was the deciding factor. Against Alabama, guess what? Took all the momentum away. Turnover. He's running outside the pocket. He don't even see what's coming. It's an IQ problem. Just like with the guys on defense, it's an IQ problem. How are you rolling out into pressure? Like, I've never seen that in my life. He did it all night. You rolling out into pressure. Like, it's got to be said. Like, the season is done. I do not want to see Garrett Nussmeier anymore. He's hard-headed. Everybody watches him. The whole country watches him. The first thing a commentator says when they mention his name, gunslinger. They don't say game manager. Gunslinger. It's never nothing good when his name is mentioned, man. I just had to say that, man.
I appreciate the phone call. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all get out frustrations, man. If you're gonna come in here and call in and be as good as that call was, I thought it was articulate. I mean, if you are gonna do that, I'm gonna let you continue to do it. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Ruffino, it is your boy Bryce Coon.
Hello, Bryce Coon.
How you doing, brother?
This doesn't sound like Bryce Coon.
No, this really is. I just got in the car. I promise you, I'm not trolling. This really is me.
All right. Bryce Coon, 247 Sports. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Well, look, I can't help but feel, and I don't know if this has already been said, and I want to get your thoughts on it. I can't help but feel that we're kind of entering this this paradox of LSU football where it's a complete Jekyll and Hyde act. And I tweeted this out. I know you saw one of my tweets, my guy. I tweeted this out. I said, I don't think you can say with any type of definite confidence that this team can do anything, good or bad. It feels like an entire Jekyll and Hyde act. We've seen at times this team can flash, and you get to see the potential of what can be. And then you get to see nights like tonight that are in my opinion, Blake, and I don't know how you view it, it's an utter and complete program failure. You don't, just like Blake, you don't luck into a 42-13 win. You don't just happen to make a few mistakes and lose 42-13 either. This is top to down organizational failure. And I'm not trying to call for a job. I'm not saying, but I'm saying this is it's a pretty good look inside of some of the big deficiencies that this program has right now.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I started off the night saying I don't think that you have the personnel in certain key areas, and you don't. I don't think you're good at linebacker. I don't think you're good in the interior of the defensive line. I don't think that you're good at safety. I see, and Bryce, the only catch-22, and I'm not trying to, the only catch-22 that I'd say, you're down 14-6, and then you turn the ball over at the 4-yard line. That cannot happen. Then you're down 21-6. Okay, you're down 21-6. It is what it is. What's the momentum if you're down 20? If it's 14-13 and they go down and score, and how does that change the momentum of the game? But then when you get a turnover and it's 14-6, then you fumble the ball away. Right? I mean, this is fundamental shit that we're not executing on, Bryce. So yes, I do agree from a holistic standpoint. I'm with you. But I also look at hey, man, if you don't turn the ball over in those two situations, what do you look like?
Yeah. Well, and the score is going to mislead a lot of people, but let's go back to, and I asked Brian Kelly the question this postgame. I said, when you talk about this team, it feels like they've had a lot of we've got to hold the rope moments in terms where a game feels like it's slipping away. You either grab onto the rope and pull yourself back in, or you let go and you lose. And we've seen the past 6 quarters, it feels like they are never able to grab a hold of that rope and get a firm grip. Now, in the South Carolina game, they showed, hey, we can do that. Now, I don't suggest living and dying by that method, but it's definitely a trait that I think this 2024 team has. And to your point, despite everything, you had a chance in that third quarter. You had driven the ball down their throat. They could not stop you. You were able to find some offensive rhythm that didn't exist in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about a game where it could have been 21-13 at worst if you score a touchdown, 21-12 maybe you go for 2, whatever. Instead, man, it's just the back-breaking stuff that we see from this team. And I think that shows you how fine the line is, especially in this conference, between just okay, mediocre, and great teams. And LSU, unfortunately, has not proven that they can be in those situations and consistently execute, like you mentioned. They do it sometimes. They show flashes. They tease you. But in other times, they can't do it. And I think that's just it's part of the growth part of a roster and a team. And unfortunately, fans are having to learn the hard way that this team's just not quite there yet.
When you were talking that whole time, what the word that kept coming to my mind was culture.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about hold the rope moments. Well, if you keep failing and hold the rope moments, that means your culture's not that great.
That's very true. And I'll point this out too. I was having a conversation with another writer and another reporter in the SEC sphere for a program that makes they're on the loveliest village over there on the plains in Auburn. And they mentioned this. They said, you reach a point where your kids look up at the scoreboard and that message of hold the rope, it doesn't sink in anymore because they've seen it happen over and over again. So there's no real data point or confidence, or the success that you have hasn't been consistent, or it's been so far in the past that you can't really rely on it. And I truly thought, Blake, that the data point, and I talked about this all week, the data point for this team was the Ole Miss game. Even if you got behind and you weren't playing well, if you stayed true, if you were able to consistently stay in the game, both mentally and physically, you'd have a chance. And unfortunately, man, I've said this, Jalen Milroe to me is one of the most unguardable players in college football when he's in a rhythm.
No doubt.
Look, there were two things in this game. We were talking about this in the press box. One, you had to stop Milroe, which is obviously a big thing. 2, you had to stop Ryan Williams. Alabama didn't even have to force you to go to option 2. They just shoved option 1, right where you were the whole time, and you couldn't do anything about it.
Bryce, they had 2 scoring drives where they ran the ball 14 times and threw it twice. I mean,
hey, look, I'm a Georgia Tech guy. Paul Johnson was out there smiling somewhere, buddy.
Oh, I don't want to say this because I don't want to get you. My man had a chubby. I'll just say it. My man had a chubby watching that game. You know what I mean? You're right. Yeah. And look, it just comes down to, Bryce, like I think you got to go in the portal. I think this whole narrative of, oh, well, we're not going to give money to this kid or that kid, that shit's got to stop now, because you're going to be in the same spot that you are in right now. You're going to be in the same spot you're in right now a year from now if you don't go get dudes. Look, I like Wes Weeks. I like him a lot. He's a good dude. He's a good player. He ain't ready for these physical matchups, brother. Like, he's not. And I that's tough. I get it, but man, he got manhandled too. All right, Bryce, what else? Other thoughts that you had on the game?
Well, last thing I'll kind of talk about, and then I'll let you get to some more callers here. I think going forward, man, you're really going to see what we mentioned culture. What's real? Is it fake toughness? Is it a lot of fake conversation to put a nice slogan on a T-shirt, or is it real? I mean, does this group really stay together? Obviously, LSU fans and in the media, we get to cover these guys. We get to build relationships, with these guys through the media. You want to believe in the goodness of it. That, hey, you know what? The 24-hour rule, it's real, both win or loss. But man, I will be honest with you. I don't know how anyone wakes up tomorrow and says, you know what? I feel good. I feel good about where we're headed. I'm okay. We're going to be better. No, it's time to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to get a little pissed off. You got to take some pride in your craft. You got to take some pride in what you do each and every single day, because this is real life. This isn't and all due respect, this is not the Sun Belt. This isn't the Conference USA. Each and every single week, you're going to get punched in the mouth. How do you respond? And I think it's time for these guys to get pissed off, play a little nasty, because I think that's something we're not seeing out of this group. And I like the staff. I like the defensive staff they brought in. You got to get better Jimmys and Joes, but I think it's time to rip the Band-Aid off and not be so politically correct when we speak about this team. It's time to get pissed off, because you got your ass handed to you for 60 minutes, and you didn't look like you belonged on the same field as them.
I mean, Bryce, really for the last 90 minutes.
Oh, the last 6 quarters, you haven't looked like an SEC team.
No, you've looked like one of the worst defense or worst teams in the SEC, if we're being real. And look, I'm just going to say it. Maybe Florida's not equipped because of the quarterback situation to clip you, but Vandy is. Oklahoma battled tonight with Missouri. I mean, there are teams that can clip you, man. I mean, the thing, Bryce, that really fucking bothers me is that we're staring a Cheez-It bowl in the face.
Yeah.
That's what really bothers me, because if you make, like, the loss tonight wouldn't have bothered me, and it doesn't really bother, like, the loss doesn't bother me as much as, like, hey man, it's 14-6 and you turn the ball over at the 4. Like, that bothers me. Like, to no end, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, you know what? Even if you got to settle for a field goal and it's 14-9, I would rather take that than just what you put on display all night long, man. It's a crapshoot.
It was brutal. It was brutal, man. I'll end it with this. You mentioned, obviously, you don't know if Florida has the quarterback to clip you. I will say this. If Lagway is healthy, you're going into a place where, one, there's nothing to lose for Florida. They're going to play with reckless abandon. They're going to be, hopefully, you would think if you're a Florida fan, they're going to be pissed off, looking to make a statement. And that's not an environment that I'd like to walk in with this LSU team right now, because there needs to be some come-to-Jesus moments about, you can either end this season with a little bit of dignity, or you can go out and embarrass yourself and embarrass the program with how it is. I'm not saying they're going to lose next weekend. What I'm telling you, though, is you can't just walk in there. This team's not good enough, Blake, not disciplined enough, not consistent enough to roll the ball out there against anybody and just say we can go win the game and just show up.
No doubt. Without a question, Bryce. I agree.
Appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's Bryce Coon from the Crowded Booth and to Sports. I really appreciate that phone call. All right. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone call. All right, you're on the phone, Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Boy, what's happening? It's your boy Sidney Dean. What's happening?
I have no idea what's going on right now. That was weird. All right, 225-435-9387 is the phone number. You're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Blake, what's happening? It's your boy Sidney Dean. What's happening?
What'd you think of the game, Sydney?
Man, good Lord have mercy. Hey man, hey man, for real, it's been kind of the same thing everybody been talking about. Is you can't turn the football over. You can't turn it over, dog. You can't. You down. Your defense finally got you to stop on the 4th and 1. DJ Chester, what he was doing, he decided to want to look left and have the middle linebacker run right past his face. But, Gus, you got to hold the ball. You can't. It's raining or not. We know that. But you can't fumble the ball right there. Then the defense put the defense right back on the field, expecting to bail you out. You can't.
No, you can't.
And then
not from your own 32, you can't.
Exactly. And then on the second and goal from the 4, that's an easy read. You see the linebacker wants to drop back, hit Josh in the flat, you have a touchdown. We have a different ball game.
Completely different ball game. And look, Sidney, to your point here, man. I was just saying, to your point here, I mean, I don't think I think we are now as a fan base, but these turnovers are abysmal, man. I'm sorry. They're really bad. And I don't mind Garrett taking a sack after you got a turnover on downs. At worst, punt the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Punt the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. You're going to give up sacks. You're going to give up – those things happen. It's just every time that we get momentum, we create ways to beat ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's you hit the nail on the head. And it's funny. I was talking with some of my boys who are Georgia fans. They've been having the same problem. I said, if folks want to look at it, Carson Beck and Garrett Nussmeier are the same person.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
They'll. The only thing is with Georgia has the defense that could make up for the attitude of Carson Beck. As of right now, we're still developing that, trying to find dudes. We need dogs also. We need dogs on defensive end. On the defensive side, you got to spend the money. You can't be cheap. In today's age of football, you can't be cheap.
No, you can't.
You got to spend the money.
I mean, look, let's just call it what it is. Regardless of Carson Beck or not. I mean, Carson Beck relatively played a clean game today. He had one pick. But the thing is Georgia's offensive line got dominated by Ole Miss. So, again, as a fan, bro, they're going to make $50 million in TV revenue money. $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be real. Some of these price tags on some of these guys, I'm not even saying bring in a Walter Nolan, but you better bring in the second best. You better bring in linebackers and safeties that can play here. When Caleb Downs enters the portal, you better go to him and say, whatever any team is going to give you, we're going to match. That has to happen. And it's not happening.
And Caleb, for Caleb Downs, he's a kid from the South.
Correct.
So he wanted to say I'm in Georgia. So it's like a family travel from Georgia to Louisiana. It's easy going from here to going to Columbus.
You making $1 million a year, it doesn't matter. You can get your parents here quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Exactly. So you have to see what the deficiencies is on offense and defensive side. And not like you said, it'll be 84, 9-3, playing for the Cheez It Bowl, playing for the who care what bowl you in. If you trying to get to the playoffs and play with the big boys.
Here's the truth, Sidney. Do you give let me ask you, do you give a shit that we're going to a Cheez It Bowl? Because I don't.
Nope.
No, I mean, I don't. And this is the bad part of it.
You're right. And I told my partners, I said, look, man, I have going in, I know that the problem was us stopping running quarterbacks because clearly there's been a problem with Blake Baker for whatever reason. He can't stop. If you're a statue, you fine. You look great out there. But anybody who can run and be any kind of mobile, that's a problem, which I don't understand how because it ain't hard. All you're doing running misdirections or read options. It ain't hard football. We all seen it. You see it last week. You see it the week before. It ain't hard. If Vanderbilt can do it, good Lord. At least we have
I
a
mean,
the Vanderbilt. They can do what we can
think
do.
about that for a minute. Look, here's the truth, Sydney. Before I get you out of here, you're gonna get in a dogfight with Vandy.
Yep.
You're gonna be in a dogfight with Vandy, and that's where you are as a program. Sydney, I appreciate the phone call, man.
Appreciate it, my guy.
All right. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone number to call in. You want to get your thoughts in. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Like, this is Andrew Jordan.
What'd you think of the game, buddy?
This is Andrew Jordan.
Yeah, what'd you think of the game, man?
Oh, dude, not good. Not good. I'm tired of watching Kelly sit players that deserve to be on the field, and then letting the players out there that don't deserve to be on the field. I feel like Nuss is a good example. Last year it was Weeks, Swinson, Womack.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be real with you, not to interrupt you here. I don't want to hear anything more about Whit Weeks at the current moment. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. So I mean, the only other thing that you could do is maybe try to find somebody else and play some of these freshmen, and maybe you need to. But I don't want to hear. I look. I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm really not. But the whole Weeks thing, you know, it's got to go bye-bye, man, because this is back-to-back weeks where I haven't gone back and even watched the game again, and on the top of my head I can name 5 times that he was out of position. Like I don't want to hear that. And it's not that he's getting beat physically, it's that he's out of position. That's the part for me that really really aggravates me. It really aggravates me because, I mean, you had 2 weeks to work on this and you're out of position.
I mean, that makes sense, but I guess the biggest thing is, like, with, like I said, last season you had Swinson. Weeks was really good. He's been good all season. Like, other than
brother, he got destroyed by A&M and he got destroyed by Alabama tonight. You can't say that, bud.
And he still had a good, like.
No, he did not have a good game. No, he did not. There's not. He batted down a pass. That's being a good game. So what about giving up 311 yards rushing? It's not all on him.
Well,
he gave up 311 yards rushing. Nobody in that front seven nobody in that front seven that we can look at and say that they had a good game, dog. Not Swinson, not Penn, not anybody.
You're right. No, I was mostly just explaining, like, or trying to talk about Nuss. Like,
okay,
why would you not try and bring in Ricky Collins or what's the other kid's name? Swanson.
Swan. AJ Swan. I don't know. I don't
understand. Like,
well, because here's the thing. I don't think that they are good enough. Neither one of them are good enough or better than him. I don't think either one of them are more talented than him at the current moment. I don't think either one of those two guys care enough, to be real with you, at the current moment to come in and burn a red shirt or I think Ricky is leaving, so he probably doesn't want to play. And look, he was running scout team all week, and you don't normally do that with scholarship quarterbacks. That's your number 2. You really don't, because you don't want them to get hurt. And so I think that you have a quarterback room that is very, with all due respect to Sloan, I think you have a quarterback room that's a little dysfunctional at the current moment. And look, this is what has to happen. I don't go to press conferences on Mondays. And if I went into a press conference on Monday, which I probably should, and I asked Brian Kelly, is there going to be a decision that if Garrett continues to turn the ball over, that you're going to sit him? Now, I could go and ask, but
the thing is,
nobody's going to ask.
If you were to sit him, maybe it'll, like, light a fire under his ass, you know, like
I mean, what
when I was in high school,
what other fire does he need under his ass than last week or this week?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like sometimes it's just like a readjustment. You know what I mean? Like
It ain't gonna readjust. It ain't gonna readjust. I promise you, it's not gonna readjust him. It's not. It's in his DNA.
You never
dude.
know. You never know.
Okay,
I know when
it's
I
not
got
going to.
when I got taken out.
You had hold on. I got a perfect thing. You had a bye week to readjust, and you didn't.
No, I agree with that. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you that part. I'm just saying, like third quarter when he threw that interception on the fucking goal line.
Yep.
Fucking sit him out. I don't care if it's like a couple plays or a full fucking quarter, whatever it is. Sit him out for a little while. Let him fucking think over there by himself. Bring him back in. Maybe that's what he needs. You know what I mean? Like, pull your head out of your ass, dude.
Maybe it is, but it's just not happening.
I know. I personally, I know that's what it takes for me sometimes. Like, if I'm not doing good, you know, when I was in high school,
I feel
football.
I appreciate the phone call, bub.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll stay here all night. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone call. Is the phone number. You can call in. Know what you think. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, Blake, it's Stephen Young. How you doing?
Good. What you think of the game?
I think there was some foreshadowing, not a scene.
Say that again.
I think there was some.
This thing's messing up. I don't know what's going on with the phones. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone number. All right, you're on the phone. Stephen Young, you can call back in. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. You're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Man, it's Josh. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Man, not too good, man. I'm all the way up here in western Wisconsin right now, man, and I'm pissed off right now.
Why are you
crazy?
Off? I mean, I know why you're pissed off, but what did you think of the game?
I mean, it's crazy because, like you said, you have 2 weeks, right? So it's like you have all this time, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to figure out, like, in these meetings, right? Like, what do you think they be talking about to where, like, is it a personnel?
Nuss, here's what they're talking about. Nuss, it's 3rd and 4, and you have Mason Taylor on a drag route. Hit the drag route, and then when he goes out, and then they do it in practice. He does it in practice. Then when he gets in the game, he throws a fade route to Kyron Lacey.
Do you think they need to, like, I don't know, have like not like open tryouts in practice, but maybe try some of the true freshmen like Wallace Foster or like some guys who like Deshaun Spears? I haven't heard his name since like week 2.
Wallace Foster doesn't change anything, bud.
Yeah, but like it's gonna like I don't know, maybe like let some dudes, you know, really think that they're spotting safe because the dudes are playing like they're spot safe right now, man.
I mean, again, I mean, I don't. You went from Nuss to Wallace Foster. I don't. You know, Wallace
right,
Foster,
I mean,
a boundary corner is not going to stop 311 yards. In reference to your Nuss comment, I mean, open tryouts. I mean, that doesn't happen. You got scholarship quarterbacks for a reason. Right. I mean, again, somebody's got to ask Brian Kelly if they're going to plan on, you know, trying to see if they got something else. And here's the thing. I do feel Brian Kelly was very he did this at Notre Dame. If he had a serviceable backup, he would go to him. Clearly, they don't feel like that they have a serviceable one enough to go to him. I mean, like they don't. And until he pulls the plug on it, it's not going to change. He's given no Brian Kelly has given no what's the word I'm looking for? He's given no hints or shown anything that he will pull Nussmeier. And I don't know if you really should, because I don't think anybody's better behind him.
I agree.
So I mean, pulling him, I don't know. In reference to defense, I mean, brother, you don't have the dudes.
Yeah.
So you're in a harsh reality.
So, I mean, are they going to have to just break the bank? Because, I mean, they just spent a lot of money on BK, and you know what I mean? I mean, do the boosters want to spend that much money on a new roster every year, man? Because that's, I mean, I'm
Brother,
for it, right?
I don't
But
mean
it's
this in a wrong way. It's the game.
yeah.
Here's the thing that we got to wrap our minds around. You're about to pay the football team $20 million in TV revenue money.
Right.
Right. So you better go out there and spend money. So here's the thing. If you don't want to go out there and spend the money, okay, this is what happens. You get that, right? Because you didn't spend the money in the last portal season. Okay?
Yep.
This is what happens when you don't go in and you have deficiencies. So unless you're going to recruit like Georgia on the lines of scrimmage, which, by the way, you're not, or you're going to recruit like Ole Miss and go through the portal and get those freak of natures on the defensive line, this is what it's going to look like, brother. You got to spend the money. So
right. I mean, if you don't, you're going to go out and get a dude like Gio Paez from Wisconsin, man. That's bullshit.
Correct.
Right, I agree with you. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just
you asked if I think that they would spend the money. You don't have a choice. Like there's no like if you were borderline championship contender and you're a playoff team, I would say, yeah, I mean, what are you really spending the money on? I mean, you would have to be very selective and going to win a national championship in what you believe. The problem is that you have to do this just to get to a playoff. You have to do this to be more competitive of who you are. So they got to take a long look in the mirror and say, like, hey, we're not good enough right now. That $1 million defensive tackle or that $500,000 linebacker, we got to go spend the money to do it. And so until you do that, you're going to be a 9-3 football team.
Yeah, that's just that's the reality.
The reality of it.
It sucks because they're wasting. I mean, this is the best O-line LSU's ever had, like ever, and they're wasting.
I got to be honest with you. No, it's not.
Which one's better?
2019's offensive line would dominate this offensive line.
You think so?
I don't think they can run the football. I'm legitimately not thinking. I know for a fact because I've seen it. The best offensive line we ever had was in 2019. Oh, well, that was all Burrow. Burrow did not run for 1,500 yards like Clyde Edwards-Helaire did. So I guess Burrow was the reason that he ran for that. Bullshit. But the interior of this offensive line is soft. And to be a little real with you, the tackles have played a little soft.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Overrated, super overrated.
I don't want to say they're overrated, but they played a little.
No, absolutely. Oh, I mean, there's no middle. It's either they're overrated or they're playing like.
No, there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground. But they're not even playing middle ground.
Man. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. It's maybe just my emotions right now, to be honest with you.
Man. I feel you, buddy. I feel you. All right, thank you.
All right, man. You have a good night. Thank you for taking my call, man.
No problem. On the phone with Blake Rufino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
What's going on, Blake? This is Alex from over in Kuwait again by virtue of the 318.
3-1, great. What'd you think of the game?
Man, 2 weeks ago after that A&M game, and I talked to you, and I talked about nuts. We got 11 interceptions and 10 starts, man. My question to you is, do we want Nuss back next year, or if we keep Underwood, do we want to just go forward with Underwood?
I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I mean, you would probably.
It's tough, man.
Name a true freshman quarterback. Name a true freshman quarterback that's come in and not had massive growing pains. So then you have a whole nother year of massive growing pains. I mean, the only thing you would say is that Nuss he would be in a situation where coming in this time next year, he'd have 20-plus starts. I mean, he'd have the reps. I mean, I don't think that they're moving off of him. However, if the turnovers don't stop, we're in big trouble.
Bingo. And me personally, Do we see the big jump from the defense next year without massive improvement from the transfer portal? So me personally, I'm looking at it like we could have another season next year as we're looking at right now.
Oh, you 100% could. You 1,000% could. I mean, again, I don't see a path, nor have I seen at practice when I was out there, that you have enough dudes underneath the guys that you have right now that can propel you to where you need to be defensively. Here's what I would do day one when the portal opens. I would go get bona fide safeties if I'm not already working on behind the scenes to go get safeties. I would go get linebackers. I don't think you have enough there. I go get defensive linemen and pay whatever they want. I mean, you got to go do it.
I agree with you 100%. Another thing, we talk so highly of the offensive line. We've had some big, crucial penalties from that offensive line. And to me, Emory, right now, the play this year, I haven't seen first-round talent from Emory this year.
Oh, he's not been playing like a first-round talent. He ain't play. If we're being real, he ain't played like a second-round talent. But he's also
100%. I 100% agree.
He's also a guard playing tackle too, and I mean, I don't know.
I agree. One last thing. I know you say we need linebacker help. Do you keep Weeks in the middle, or are you thinking we need to move him to the outside, or we just need to leave help around him? What you think?
He is a weak side linebacker that runs behind the play to make a tackle. He is not a strong side linebacker, what we have made him. I mean,
gotcha.
You don't have a strong side linebacker that can go and fill a hole and make sure that you need him to roam and make plays. When he's asked to fill a hole, he gets exposed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, man. I thank you again for taking the
man.
call, man. Keep it up, man.
Stay safe out there, man. We appreciate your service. We appreciate it, man.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do you have the pleasure of talking to?
What's up, Blake? It's your man, Chris.
What'd you think of the game?
Man, really? I'm embarrassed. Man. Living in Iowa all the way and being a true LSU fan, I'm really embarrassed, man.
I feel you. I am too.
What I would say, my question for you is, why does it feel like when we play against teams that are really like physical, it just seems like we're not prepared? Like
because they're out physicaling you and you're a soft football team.
I agree with you. I think we're soft. But one thing I really enjoyed with Jaden Daniels is he used like this VR thing, and it like helped simulate and help him make better decisions. Why are they not using that with Nuss? And he talked about that. He talks about it even with the Commanders, how he used it just to simulate defense, and it's much faster. Why are they not doing that with Nuss? Or maybe they are.
Well, there's two things to that. Number one, that's a Jaden Daniels preparation thing. And is Nuss prepping himself the way that Jaden did? I think that's the number one question. It would seem at the current moment, no. So yeah. I think it's a work ethic thing that Jaden has that I don't know if Nuss has shown yet.
And then my last question for you would be, I enjoy the coaches, right? I think they made fantastic hires, but it just seems like they're not putting us in situations where we have the advantage. Even like I just know what the plays are going to be called, or like we're going to pass on first down, we're going to run on second down, and then Nuss is going to be in a position where he has to play Superman on third down, or try to, or he's not taking what they're giving him, and it's the same. I don't mean this in the wrong way.
I don't mean this in the wrong way, but the same shit happened to Jalen Milroe, and he didn't blink.
Yep.
Right? I mean, your quarterback's got to convert on third downs. I mean, it's why they get paid more money than anybody. I mean, that is why they get the praise that they do. So, I mean, look, man, you're second and goal from the 4, and you throw a pick. You get a turnover and downs, and you fumble the football. That's not that's not putting him in good situations, right? Like that's putting him in good situations. And then when you ran the football 45 yards out of the pistol, I mean, you have a bad throw out of the end zone to Trey Green. I mean, they are putting him in some good situations. He just doesn't execute it.
Yeah. I appreciate you answering my question, man.
No problem, man.
Appreciate taking my call.
No problem, man. We appreciate it. All right, we'll keep going, man. As long as y'all keep calling in, I'll keep going. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone number to call in. You can tell us what you thought of the game. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, Blake, it's Dakota.
Hey, Dakota, what'd you think of the game?
Well, I was actually at the tailgate, and I'm going to be honest with you, watching that whole game, I think that's the most disappointing LSU game I think I've ever watched.
It certainly was one of them. I agree.
I feel like from start to finish, I feel like, this might be Garrett's, and I'm overreacting a lot, but I think this is Garrett's worst game, hands down worst game. This team we had no answer stopping Milroe, which that's what I predicted after the A&M loss. I said, I think he might give us some problems. We can't tackle him, man. Like, that's 4 touchdowns I think we gave up today. Same thing as last year, 4 touchdowns. That's 8 total touchdowns. We could not stop him.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I still think A&M was his worst game, but regardless of not debating over the semantics of it, regardless, it was a horrible football game. And here's the thing, and this has got to start with the fans. I see too many people in our media corps allowing him to get away with shit.
Yeah.
And the fans just let it happen. I mean, like, you have a whole board, a message board of people that are posting on social media saying, like, hey, I mean, this is the O-line's fault. It ain't nobody's fault for throwing the pick in the red zone. It's nobody's fault, but his own. So, yeah, man, it's just not good at all.
It's not only that, Blake. It's disappointing as a fan because I feel like as LSU fans, we deserve better than this. We're supposed to be LSU. We look like a team that had no business playing like this. And the first person I blame for this loss is Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly did not have this team ready. This is unacceptable, man. Right. I mean, we can blame Garrett all we want, but I mean, defense couldn't tackle, just not good enough, it's not going to help us get to where we want to go. And like you said before the game, this is what we're going to find out from Brian Kelly, and this is what we found out.
I agree, Dakota.
But thank you for taking my call, Blake.
You're welcome. All right. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone number. If you want to get your thoughts in, call in. Let us know what you think. I'm waiting for Steven to call back in because I feel bad that he didn't that the phone messed up. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. What'd you think of the game?
Hey, Blake, this is Steve at Bayou Boil and Go. I'm driving back from the game right now, and, man, this is a long drive home. Even with traffic, it just seems like forever. But, when they took the ball down and drove it all the way down and just ran it down our throats, and then we go back down there and we're on the 4-yard line and we get a field goal, it just sucked the whole energy out of the whole stadium. Here we are again.
Yeah,
the same thing over and over.
Steve, I agree. I mean, it's a gut punch, and hopefully we can, as a fan base, we can get back to the realities of who we really are. And I think tonight you saw a lot of your culture. I thought you saw just who you are as a program and where you are, and it's a lot to overcome, man. Tons and tons to overcome.
Well, I got another question. Listening about having to go pay it through the portal, NIL, everything else. It is what it is. I mean, if you get in the 12-game playoff, isn't it going to be an additional 20, 30 million to the teams that get in there? So it's all about money, making money, paying money, and it is what it is. So knowing that they got to do that, you got Bryce Underwood there. Who's going to be there doing the campus tomorrow, and you got to wrap that up, man. You think it's bad this year? If Nuss comes back next year, it's going to be that bad. And then we have nobody. We have no bench strength at all to go. We don't even have anybody to put in now if he gets hurt.
Correct. You don't, and which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's not even, Steve, to your point, it's not even at quarterback. It's at a lot of positions, right? Like this is a lot
like the Saints
that you got to do that in.
Yeah, it's like the Saints. I mean, they spent all the money and they don't want to spend anymore because they can't. But then you get Warner, or a linebacker, goes down. You ain't got nobody to fill it.
Correct. Correct. I agree, Steve.
We just, So anyway, love watching the show. Listen to you all the time. Do a great job. Appreciate all that you do.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it, man. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, Blake, this is Michael.
Hey, Michael.
From the Big D.
What'd you think of the game?
Man, who is worse, Joe Sloan, Brian Kelly, or Garrett Nussmeyer right now? It seems like we can't get anything going.
I would put them all in the same exact tier.
Man, I watch the show all the time. I watch my Tigers all the time, but that was just blah.
Yeah, we got blown out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, hopefully we can pick it up. I don't know. What you think about Underwood?
I hate the position that we're in. It's how I feel.
Same here, Blake. Hey, man, I'll continue to watch. I'll continue to listen. Just had to pick your brain about them things right there. Go Tigers.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the phone call. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
How you doing, man? This is Troy calling from Baton Rouge.
What you think of the game, man?
I don't think it's a coaching problem. I don't think it's a coaching problem. I don't think it's a defensive problem. I feel like we need to do a better job of preparing us for the game. There's a lot of plays we made. We made this game harder than we had to make this game.
I agree.
There's a lot of times it was 3 and 4 where we could have just ran the ball when they had a 3-down line, but instead we throw the ball to the long side of the field to get 3 yards. We could have did that with the running back with the 3-down line.
I agree.
A good thing. And we have to realize that we have to compete in this NIL. We have to go get the guys. We can't keep relying on LSU as the brand. Yes, LSU is the brand, and yes, we can shake a tree to get talent because this is the pipeline of talent. We got to go get the guys. We come from having guys that are legendary number 7, 18. Not we're just giving those numbers to anybody.
Oh, 100%.
We have to spend the money. We have to compete. If we're not going to compete, if we're going to have that same mindset, we need to retire like Nick Saban did because he didn't want to compete in the NIL. We have to change our mindset. We got exposed tonight, and we need this humble loss because we need change. We need to make changes. It's not Blake's fault. Yes, Blake getting paid $10 million to change this defense, which he did. We look a lot better than we did last year. We can't keep putting it on the defense. The defense was put in a lot of bad positions done by Nuss. Nuss making bad decisions. Nuss had a lot of check downs, a lot of easy first downs, be trying to make the big play. We to turn him into a game manager and not a game changer. We can't be having Nuss on the ball 42 times. We gotta hide his weakness. We gotta help him out.
I mean, I agree, but see, here's the problem with that, and I'm just going to push back on this one thing. I think you were helping him out tonight because I look at Caden Durham, okay, 7.9 yards a carry. I look at Xavion Thomas, 30 yards, 1 got called back. I look at Josh Williams, and I look at Josh Williams. They didn't necessarily hand the ball off to him a lot, but he had 6 catches for 40 yards. So it was an extension of the running game. So if you add those 40 yards plus another 30 plus another 80, okay, I got to be a little real with you on a little bit of a pushback. I think he got more help tonight from a running game perspective and checking the ball down than he has all year long. The problem is, okay, even if you take away the holding call, okay, against Will Campbell, you're down 14, you're down 14-6. And let's just say positively for just 1 second. Let's say you don't turn the ball over there, okay? And you don't throw the interception. And let's say you go for 2 and you get it. You're tied.
We tied the game. We tied the game. And we get the ball back at halftime.
Correct. Correct.
At home with the crowd behind us. We can't take the crowd out the game. We got to keep the crowd in the game. Everybody blaming Brian Kelly, Brian Kelly. Brian can't really override Joe. That's embarrassing to Joe. Everybody saying we need to change the offensive coordinator. We do that, then what? We lose Bryce Underwood?
I gotta be real with you. I gotta be real with you. You can't allow play calling to be that bad and then be worried about losing a recruit. Because when you do that, okay, you get Bryson here and the play calling's still bad, then what?
And then we just have to take our L.
Then at some point you got to take an L. What L do you want to take? Do you want to take the L of play calling? But see, here's another thing too to add to your point. We come in here and we talk about this guy's open, that guy's open, this guy's open, that guy's open. Okay. The problem that I have and why I have not really come out here and ripped Sloan the way that so many fans want me to do is because when I'm watching the game and you have Herb Street saying, there's a guy wide open right in front of his face. There's a guy wide open. There's a guy wide open. Exposing it. Then how is that a bad play call? If a guy's wide ass open, that's not bad play calling. That is bad execution by your quarterback. Correct.
Yes.
So
no execution.
So I would say, if you're asking me, I mean, look, I just can't get past the point where you're making this many bad decisions, and that's where I'm at personally.
It's mind blowing, and then Nuss is from Lake Charles, so he understands the magnitude of this game. He knows this is the game you can't come with the damn bed. You can't. We playing Alabama. We 13 at home. We got the crowd behind us. We got all the recruits. We can't wet the bed in a game like this. Minus those turnovers, we could have managed to win that game. Alabama wasn't doing anything special. They stayed in the same formation down there the whole game. They trips left to take the players out the box so they can have a lead running back to block the edge for Miro can take off for 60 yards when he wants to. We have to turn Miro into a throwing quarterback. He's not comfortable throwing the ball.
He's not.
All you want to do is dump the ball out to the running back 100 times and look for the run that we keep giving them. We're making this shit harder than we have to make it.
I agree. I mean, again, bro, Vandy pushed Bama around, and we.
Vandy did it, and Vandy is not spending half as much money we've heard spending, and we already complaining about the money that we already spending.
I mean, sometimes you just need playmakers like Diego Pavia, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sometimes it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the J's and the Joes. It's about the personnel.
No doubt. I completely agree. I appreciate the phone call, bud.
Thank you, man.
All right. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone number. You can call in and tell us what you think of the game. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. What did you think of the game?
Hey, Blake. This is Brandon in Missouri. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I don't know. I'm doing all right. I just not a lot of LSU fans around here, so I just need to rant, and I'll just start from the top and try not to beat the dead horse. But I mean, you had 2 weeks.
Hey, say what you gotta say, man.
I mean, you had 2 weeks to prepare, and 2 weeks ago, BK specifically said if he was playing against this team, he'd run the quarterback against us, and highest paid D coordinator in college football couldn't figure out a game plan. I mean, it's completely unacceptable, but everyone said that at this point. And then, moving down, I completely agree. O-line is soft, just completely soft. A lot of talent on the O-line, and but just complacency as well. So
yep,
just super, super disappointing year from them. It's hard to put it all on Garrett because
Yeah, it's
the
not
O-line
all on
play.
him. It's not all on him.
Yeah, the O-line play factors in a lot, and it just feels like in previous years, we've had one or two guys that at the wide receiver position that are playmakers, and when Tyron Lacey is on, he is that guy. But when he's not, I mean, we just have a group of above average receivers out there. We don't have that Jamar Chase or Malik Neighbors out there, and I think that also kind of hurts the offensive scheme that they run because they don't have that dude.
I agree.
And then just going to the defensive side, I hate to be an armchair Dion, but Major Burns, man, I mean, he's not gotten better since he's been here. He's been bad in every position they put him in. A lot of missed tackles, horrible in coverage. I mean, it's just at this point, I just think that he's a big effort guy. I don't think you can question his effort, but the talent is just not there for SEC ball. And I think when teams need a play, they kind of look to find Major Burns and pick on him a little bit. But just frustrating year, especially BK making $10 million a year, and we go out and revamp, and we look better this year than we did last year on defense. But going back to the first point, 2 weeks to prepare, and this is the product you put out. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, there's nothing you said that I disagree with there. Nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, the only thing would be, look, man, this is what I'd say about Baker and the defensive staff. I got to give them a pass for this reason. I know they can't stop a running quarterback, but here's the problem with that. You haven't been able to stop a running quarterback regardless of who's coaching. So the only thing that you have common is the head coach and the players.
Okay.
And so at some point, you got to look at the players and the head coach and say, what are you doing?
Okay.
I mean, that would be the only thing I'd push back on, because we can talk about him getting $2.5 million a year. We can see the strides that they've made. But the bottom line is we talk about Major Burns. We don't talk about the interior of the defensive line that got abused the last 2 weeks. We don't talk about linebacker play that got abused the last 2 weeks. We don't talk, or last 2 games. We don't talk about the safety play that got abused the last 2 games. And at some point, like, you can scheme up whatever you want. If they're not making plays, then they're not making plays. And here's where we are. Here's the cold hard truth. The cold hard truth is that you don't have the playmakers like you did under Ed. You don't have the playmakers that you did defensively under Les. And for all the shit that Les took, all of the shit that he took, his teams are never this soft. And
oh, absolutely.
You know that. I know that. Everybody knew that. And that's the part where I look at this team and say, look, that's a strength and conditioning issue. There's so many different issues. Blake Baker, for me, is the last person I'm putting the issues on, because I can't look at Jalen Milroe doing the same exact thing from 1 year to the next. And, well, Blake Baker's the new DC. Okay, that's fine. Well, you didn't stop it last year either. So the only common denominator is head coach and players.
Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, I completely agree. We don't have the personnel to really stop the run, and but yeah, it's just disheartening. There was a lot of hype, and then going back to the point you made about the interior D line, it was kind of already in the preseason. It was already kind of a red flag. It's like, hey, this interior is going to be weak, so everyone else has to step up, but. I mean, Blake Baker hyped up these linebackers, and obviously Perkins going down is huge. But, he said that we got 4 guys that are good enough to be on the field, and it's going to be hard to, to scheme them in to get them on the field. But honestly, in most cases, it doesn't even look like we got one guy that should be out there at linebacker. So
I agree.
It's tough. But, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate the talk, and go Tigers.
Thanks, man. All right, 225-435-9387. We'll go a little bit longer here. But yeah, I'll keep taking phone calls all night. Fuck it. What do I got to do? All right, you're on the phone. This is the Postgame Show. What you think of the game?
What's going on, Blake? This is Ant.
Hey, Ant, what'd you think of the game?
And I got one word. Fuck.
I agree.
And this watching that game, what I can take out of it is that I want to see his personnel to me, and it's like because it's not the same LSU that I grew up watching. Ain't no
not.
dogs. Because I watched Gilbert today, and watching him like half-ass trying to tackle Jalen Milroe, watching our linebackers get blown up. I don't know how to feel.
Well, you should feel embarrassed. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I agree. You don't have the playmakers on defense, and you just don't. And it's a cold hard truth and a cold hard reality. But it is where we are. And look, I mean, I don't know what you face, but you got if Lagway plays next week, he can run. If Diego Pavia plays in a couple of weeks, he can run. And look, Jackson Arnold is not a shitty athlete either.
He ain't. And see, like, what's making me mad is, like, the defense don't get to – I wouldn't say they don't get to see it in practice, but, like –
No, they don't.
It should be – yeah, because I don't know how Ricky do and none of that, but Nuss plays with the first defense, so I know they don't see it. And it's like, how can you install something and they don't see it in practice? Can't nothing mimic what Milroe can do. Right. And then you don't have the linebackers. They just – I don't know. They play slow to me. They get beat up by the O-line when they go to the second level. It's all horrible to me. And offense-wise, do you feel like the offense really fits Nuss, or is it built for a dual-threat quarterback?
I mean, and I here's what I'd say. For us, I think you need somebody that can move. Your team is built off of somebody for a quarterback that can move. It is what it is. Okay. That's how you built your team. That's how it's orchestrated. You don't have a team that has, quite honestly, a guy that can sit in the pocket and that can throw it all around. You're not built that way, because most of the times quarterbacks like that, they've got a exceptionally great running game. However, on the defensive side of things, I think that there's a couple of things that running quarterbacks expose. When you have a quarterback that can run on you, they expose how athletic of a team you are. And when you're not able to stop it, you're exposed on how good of a team you are athletically. And I thought that I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt, like a lot of people have said tonight about Marcel Reed. But now it's to a point where, and I look at this team and say, well, like, why are you missing that gap? Why do you have two linebackers in a B gap or a C gap? Why is that an issue? And just last thing on this, like that's I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude, okay, but this is simple shit. Like this is very simple.
X's and O's.
Simple. Like, hey, the running game is the most simple thing to fundamentally figure out. Now, could they misdirect you and do all this stuff? Use eye candy? Yes. But they did that, and the running backs didn't get going. Again, Jam Miller had 38. Young had 26. Hayes had 23. None of them got over 40 yards. The problem is when you have an athletic quarterback that can expose your athleticism, that's where you're going to continue to get beat. And it's not going to change until you go, bro, we need somebody in the portal. Like, and not even that. Bro, Omar Speights starts in the league, just for everybody to remember. So you had a guy who looked that bad and got exposed here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. That's the only thing I can think of, really.
Yeah, that's because it's just I feel like we slow at linebacker. We need that fast linebacker that can just go downhill and just go hit somebody and get off a block. Because today a quarterback spot would have worked to a certain degree. Because I seen, like, definitely in the second half where he was like handed it off to Jam the whole drive, and then he'll pull it once they get to the 30-yard line. But that's
and look, we talked about that on Thursday, Ant, on our keys to victory. He doesn't like running in between in between the 20s. Yeah, one of them he did, and he busted it out. But other than that, he does not like running in between the 20s. And then when he gets there, he's going to go off on you, which he did.
Yep. I got one more question for you, Blake.
Yep.
Why do we run the ball with Tatum Durham inside, and he's a 10-2 guy.
Because we're I want to say a word, but I can't because I'll get canceled. But
Yeah,
we're fucking we're stupid.
yeah.
Oh, we ran an
and then-
outside zone with him. And he went for 45, and we didn't line up and run it again.
And then where is Caleb Jackson?
Sitting the bench, I guess. They don't trust him.
Damn, man.
Yeah, they don't trust him. And you know what's even worse? When BK came in here, okay? Now, this isn't on him, but it just goes to show how bad when you miss in recruiting how things can get. Trevor Etienne and Dylan Sampson are other places right now. I mean, missing on in-state kids, man, it's coming back to bite you in the ass.
Because I hate when I hear them say Louisiana got all the talent, and then you don't get the important ones.
I mean, Dylan Sampson went off again tonight. I mean, bro, he's in the Heisman conversation. Like, legitimately. I'm not just making – he's in the Heisman conversation.
And then this shit sucks. I'm not going to lie to you, Blake. The line just – I don't know. I get so irritated when I go home. I just want to punch shit.
I feel you. Me too.
I go and start watching old LSU games. I'm like, damn, where has Tom's been?
Bro, Jamal Adams was there tonight. The last time we had a Jamal Adams was when Jamal Adams was here.
Oh, yeah, he's the last one.
He's the last one. We have not had dudes like that.
2019 was the last remnants of anything that was close to
Grant, right. Right.
So at least we had kids that wanted to play here. It's like they want to play here now, but it's like they don't have that extra LSU. You know, it's a LSU just come with the brand of playing hard, smacking people in the face, running over, talking shit to you. That's LSU ball. I don't see none of that.
Right, because it's not existent, unfortunately. But just to your point, Dylan Sampson had 30 carries, 150 yards, and a touchdown.
Wow.
So, all right, Dan, I appreciate the phone call, man.
All right, Blake.
All right, you're on the phone with Blake Rufino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. What did you think of the game?
Hey, Blake. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man. What did you think of the game?
Game was horseshit. They played complete horseshit. Let's be real. Sorry, I got a few questions for you. You may have already answered these, but I'm at work, so I'm kind of in and out of the show. I heard they had over 300 of our recruits at the game. How do you think this may affect the game? The recruiting going forward?
It vastly affects it. Yeah, it vastly affects it. I mean, it's a bad look. It's bad. It's really bad.
And my next question is, with nothing left to play for really the rest of the season, do we start seeing opt-outs, maybe players hitting the portal? I mean, you already talked about the culture of the program and the team. I had gotten a little rumor mill that there were some fighting at the practices and stuff like that. Don't know if that's true or not, but how do you think we play going forward?
Here, I'm going to cop out on this question. I have no idea because I have no idea what team's going to show up. The reason I'm copping out is because you're so inconsistent. I don't know what to expect from you from week to week. I mean, could you win the next 3 games? Yes. But I got to be real with you, man. I don't know. I mean, if you keep turning the ball over, each team can beat you. So
absolutely.
So
why have we seen so much regression with Nussmeier?
I got to be real with you. I don't think it's regression. I think it's who he is. Because name a time he's come in the game and he's been a guy that's not turning the ball over. I mean, people look at Blake. What about Georgia in the second half? Guys, you were down 14. He threw a pick. You would have been within 7. Okay. And then he fumbled the football on the drive after that. This is who he is. I can name Southern Georgia, South Alabama, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Alabama. So he started 10 games. And 6 of those 10 games 6 of the 10 games I've just listed, he has multiple turnovers, more than 2 turnovers in those games. So 2 or more. So I don't think it's a regression. I think it's that this is just who he flat out is. And to be real with you, I don't like the gunslinger thing. Gunslingers make really good throws, okay, that are completed into big coverages. But this isn't what's happening. It's bad decision making. The interception's not a gunslinger mentality thing. It's a dumb decision thing. So for me, when I look at him, it's not a regression. It's never been there. Because you can't point to me and tell me that he is not, brother. Again, 6 of the 10 games I just mentioned, and he's only got 11 starts, 10 starts, 11 starts. 6 of those 10 games, he's had really bad turnovers, and I didn't talk about USC where he had a turnover. So again,
I think it was.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think it was maybe the Grambling State game last year when he came back in mop-up duty. There was a game he came in last year
50%
and looked like complete shit.
Well, he was 50% completion percentage. I mean, Southern. I didn't even throw out Southern. Southern, he had a pick 6 and another interception. Against Arkansas, he had a fumble. His first ever game that he really played, he had a fumble and then an interception. Name the games. Name the times. Name big time situations. I can name turnovers.
You look at the Ole Miss game, and it just looked like
Ole Miss
was trying to press way too much. We didn't have that. He might have had that many downfield throws of 20 or more yards the entire season up to that point as he had in that game. Completely ignored the underneath open receivers and tried to press and push the ball down the field consistently and looked terrible. I mean, I can't remember, but his completion percentage was under 50% for that game.
100%. 100%. I agree.
But then on the flip side, what's the option? You can't bench him for Ricky Collins
move away from Nuss. Move away from Nuss and go in the portal. Bring Bryce Underwood in here and go with him, or you stay with Nuss and you hope Bryce comes, or you get another young quarterback and you go from there. There's only 3 options.
That's if that cat from Barstool Sports don't pay him a stupid amount of money to stay in Michigan.
Well,
do you think we should have pulled our starters late in the game and got some of the younger guys some reps?
No. I think they needed to stay out there and suffer through it.
You think it was punishment?
Yeah.
For playing like dog shit?
Well, let me back up. I got to be real with you. Now that we're kind of at the end of the show here and it's late in the morning and people won't be watching a 2-hour and 30-minute show, I would have pulled Nuss at the end of the game, personally. I would have put in A.J. Swan or Ricky Collins and saw what happened.
Yeah, at least with Collins, you can get a mobile quarterback.
Regardless of, brother, they could have put my fat ass back there. Okay, I would want to see something different in a game type situation like that.
Do you think they lost the locker room?
I say that again.
I'm sorry. I'll let you finish.
No. Go ahead. What were we saying?
I was going to ask you if you think that they've lost the locker room.
100%. 100%.
So we have a culture issue then.
I think you've had a culture issue. I think you've won despite the culture issue.
So, in your opinion, what do you think it's going to take to clean that up? Do you need to look?
You want me?
I mean,
here's
we all know the boards are going to be hollering for a new head coach.
Well,
they've been bitching about it.
It's not happening. You know what you need?
But that ain't happening.
Yeah,
So,
you know what you need? You need motherfuckers. You need a guy that's borderline going to get a felony, but doesn't get a felony, but will go out in the field and fucking kill somebody. You need motherfuckers. That's what you need.
So you need Trey Holly on the roster then. Active.
I mean, innocent until proven guilty, but all right, now you're going to make me completely rephrase. You need Georgia.
You need some dogs.
You need some dogs. You got puppies right now.
Well, I'll let you wrap the show up.
All right, thanks, man. All right, I'll take one more phone call. 225-435-9387. All right, you're on the phone with Blake with us. This is the A-Way. Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
What's up, Blake? This is Jonah.
What'd you think of the game?
It is. Look, I don't know. The game was crazy. I just wanted to touch on 3 points. I want to piggyback off what you just said with AJ Swan, Nico Collins. So we know Brian Kelly was 2 quarterback type system. Am I right about that?
You are
He was
correct.
in Notre Dame.
You are correct.
So if Garrett was playing how he played, why don't you turn to Nico Collins for your run game for, a lot of full game, with the read zone, and bring AJ Swan in and just simplify it? How many times you seen when they lined up like they was in cover 0, and I seen one time where we loaded trips to the right, left or right, it don't matter, and the wide side of the field we put Lacey, and Lacey had 1-on-1 with number 1, and he bailed out every time. Why you just don't, call a quick hitch how we used to do, and just and try to exploit that. They're making it too hard.
Yeah,
I
I don't know. That's a question for Brian Kelly. I don't know. But here's another truth too. Even when they call it, he took shots down the field that hurt us.
True.
I mean, I don't know how many times Kirk Herbstreit's got to say this guy's wide open right in front of Nussmeier's face, and then he throws a deep shot.
Nussmeier doesn't take. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Nussmeier doesn't handle pressure very well.
No, at all.
The time where they did circle, I don't remember. I don't know if it was Lacey, CJ, or Taylor on the post, but he seen everybody picked up, and then they added the extra blitzer, and as soon as he seen him, he trying to get out the pocket. So I mean, I love this, but yeah, like these past 2 weeks, it has been crazy. And my last one I wanted to touch on was Xavier Thomas. Like, he literally was, even on kick returns, he's the one who showed the most. What's the word I'm looking for?
Explosiveness.
Heart. Heart. Like, literally every run on kick return, he tried to break. I mean, he's been doing that, but every one of them tonight, even when we was down 42-6, he tried to break. Like, he broke 5 tackles. They still hit him, and he breaking tackles, still trying to, create for the team. Why doesn't he get? Well, that's it's just like you said, we kind of slow. But I feel like even when you put Juwan Johnson in the game, that should have been Xavier Thomas getting those touches in the quote unquote wildcat type when you try to get creative, and that didn't work. They did get him in, the little motions misdirection, but I feel like they should try to get him the ball way more than what they do.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. I don't know. Like, I wish I had answers, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you have a strong enough leader at quarterback that can lead you out of these bad situations, man. I appreciate the phone call.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, that's gonna be it for us. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I appreciate all the super chats, phone calls, all that good stuff. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all again tomorrow. Peace.